All right, let's get to a few talks of the table here. And first off, we're talking about these breathalyzers at prom. Now, for high school kids in Long Island, in one town, they're going to add one more thing to their prom checklist here. A limo check, corsage check, killer outfit check here, breathalyzer test. Right, check. Smithtown School District, latest in a growing number of school districts, training staff, to conduct sobriety tests on kids. Now, the tests, they'll be administered if there is a, quote, reasonable suspicion that a student's been drinking. Now, possible disciplinary action includes being barred from the graduation ceremony, even suspension. We had this debate this morning, Jessica, and Andrew, I'm sure, will chime in as to his thoughts. I got a big problem with it. Schools can be held liable for anything nowadays. I'm not trying to pretend to be Mr. Goody Two-Shoes by any means, but if you know it's coming and you know you're going to be breathalyzed, when you get there, cry me a river if you show up half in the bag and then you get in trouble for it. I don't feel bad for you. Schools, parents would be happy to sue schools if Junior has to have his stomach pumped, right? So why shouldn't schools have a little bit of protection on their side?
That's a good point, but I think probably one of the other things to worry about is the after prom too, because kids go to that afterwards and they can't stop that, but they can't control it. But then it raises other questions: are they liable for what they did at the prom, at the school's function? So I don't know. It's a little nanny state to me. I think if there's a child that's visibly intoxicated, obviously disciplinary measures, but kids have been drinking at prom since the beginning.
But if little Jimmy or Mary, Andrew, shows up at the prom half in the bag and they're puking in the bathroom, mom's going to have a nice lawsuit or whatever that the school is negligent and everything else.
No, because there are still rules in the books about something like that, and the school it's incumbent on them.
Rules in the books?
There are. The school's not allowed to. If the kid's drunk, you're supposed to pull the kid aside and not let the kid into the prom or not let the kid mix in school.
Schools have been sued since the dawn of time here for creating an unsafe environment or not having supervisory.
You said showed up drunk, and that's the key here, because if whatever happens at the prom is one thing, but you're talking about something that happened before they ever got to that property.
The kid's sick in the bathroom, the school's in trouble. If I'm the school, I want to protect my downside and say, no, you show up here, you're going to do whatever you're going to do here, and I can't control you 24 hours a day. But at least I know when you got here,
why not breathalyze the kids before they show up to school every single day?
Because they're taking tests, they're not going to proms wearing tuxes,
But why is the school's potential liability any less in a school day than it is on the prom?
Because prom's different.
No, it's not. It's a school function.
Well, I don't know about your school. Guys weren't bombed in homeroom.
Why not drug test everybody before they show up to school? Why not go through every single thing that you're asking? There has to be some leeway for kids.
Fine, then parents can't sue the schools anymore. I feel so bad for schools in that they only get one side of this. Dominic, help.
Don't look at me. Have you noticed?
Necessary?
I was doing a good job of ducking this conversation. Did you notice that intentionally?
Wait,
I didn't have anything to say. Okay, we're running the clock out. Now, as the kids would say, the high school kids that are watching us right now, they're going to say that I'm, quote, hating. But I agree with you
Thank
a
you for keeping it real, Dominic. What the heck are you doing to me?
I agree with you 1,000%. You cannot wait, let me just say what I have to say and then I'll be done. You can't have kids. Do you know what these kids do before the prom? And I know because I had kids that went, my own kids. Do you know how much drinking they do? You can't have that going on where a kid can barely walk and they're at the prom. What happens when they fall down a flight of stairs at the school?
If the kid is barely able to stand up, if the kid is drinking and is obviously showing signs of intoxication at any school function, the school is compelled to take action. This breathalyzer takes it a step further. It basically indicts every student before they get there. It lowers the threshold for.
Aren't most of them drinking? Right, they're minors. And don't many of them drink for their prom anyway?
I don't know, and neither does the school, but you want to test everybody basically who's coming through.
But like Richard said, you know they won't drink if they know that they're going to face this test the moment they arrive at the door.
So let's just indict them all beforehand.
There's a reasonable
I have reasonable doubt that you're drinking. Why you showed up at
expression pregame, Andrew. At least they're trying to keep this thing.
How far is this going to go? How much of our kids' indiscretions are we going to take away from them?
Have no legal liability for the schools and let mom and dad, take it on the chin.
I'm worried about the legal rights of the kids. I could care less about the liability of the schools.
I think me and you are getting old. I think we're getting old.
What? Kids don't have rights? Kids shouldn't be
under 18?
Let's make it as police state as possible so that every teenager
out there absolutely in New York
hates
21,
the police.
Isn't it?
You know it's 21. What are you giving me the wrinkle brow?
I want to make sure.
Yes. Thank you.
So
Well done.
check your kid before they
Yes,
go.
drones at home. Now, you've heard about using drones overseas, been a big part in the war on terror. Well, now one governor wants to use them on American soil and not for military purposes either. Bob McConnell, governor of Virginia, Republican, said the police drones flying over Virginia would be, quote, great and the right thing to do. His reasons for supporting the use of drones, well, they're the very same ones that military personnel find so useful on the battlefield. Proposal to purchase drones hasn't exactly reached McConnell's desk as of yet, but state law enforcement agencies looking for ways to fight crime in the modern day.
This is almost the same argument.
Yes.
It is
very
very
close
I
to
know,
yours.
and I'm going to go a different direction.
Yeah, I figured. I was just about to say, I don't like the nanny state here. How about this?
Well, because I think you have it in New York City already. I set myself up for that one. You have cameras everywhere, and they've actually been really effective in helping solve crimes and prevent other
After
crimes.
the fact.
So
Yeah, so would a
After the fact.
breathalyzer or a prom
Yeah.
do the same thing, by the way, but yes.
But the difference is
Oh,
we're
you
talking,
can't let it
no,
go.
we're talking about after the fact with drones or with breathalyzers or police cameras or whatever the case may be. My problem is doing it beforehand, is stopping somebody at the moment that they might be doing something wrong. That I have a problem with.
But can I ask a question? If you have an alleged drug dealer that's under suspicion and under investigation, and you know that this individual has moved several kilos of cocaine, you have a problem with a drone following it?
You have a warrant?
But why? I mean, if the planes are flying anyway,
Because the
why
planes-
do you need a warrant?
Because the planes can go places that the police can't. That you
I'll tell
can't
though,
go from just
honestly
tailing
though, Don,
somebody.
To me, I'm still going to use Easy Pass, but the idea that somebody knows where I am the whole time and that I'm presumed guilty before
But
they
that
say,
shit
I'm not even doing.
It's been left the station, and we're way beyond that now, as Jessica said, and it's been a good thing. The cameras all over New York City.
But let me
Capturing
take-
things
let me
that
take a
never would have been
worst-case
caught
scenario.
before.
Let me take a worst case scenario that Democratic Governor X fears Republican up-and-comer Y and says, let's put a drone on Y, let's put cameras on Y,
See, I don't even
let's
think you have to go there.
let's watch
Do you
everything
remember
that
after
Y does.
9/11?
Did that not happen with Governor Spitzer?
Well,
Nice,
maybe it should
nice,
have,
very nice.
but-
No, but to me though, we don't have to do hypotheticals. After 9/11, remember Admiral Poindexter and his bright idea? We were going to have the cable guy go in guys' homes. I'm not making this up. And he's going to see what magazines are reading. If he found it kind of suspicious, he'd say, hey, you should check this person out. Hey, I don't like the idea of doing too much unchecked. And first of all, this is America, right? I'm not saying
Barely.
we shouldn't use breathalyzers for kids in proms and all the rest, but I am saying we still, this whole idea of the freedom, that's why we came here and the whole thing, nanny state, right? I don't know. It scares me a little.